Well, y'all, I'm getting ready to... I got this package of ribs here, and I've got to cook them because the date's about to run out on them. So, I'm going to see what we can do with them today. I got my grill turned on, and it's heating up. I don't know if it's going to last. It may run out. I may have to pause the camera and go get gas. I don't know. Because I know it's about empty. So, we'll see. I'm going to have to get another pan to lay that in so I can get the that tough outer skin off of it. I've been trying to do ketchup out in the garden this morning. So I haven't had time to do and I think this is frozen. But it's got this membrane on it here that usually you like to pull that off if you can. If it's at all possible. I'm not strong enough to pull it. Can't get hold of it to pull it. I don't know how all these chefs get hold of it. And they're stronger than I am, I guess. They can just get hold of it and pull it right off of there. I'd have to get a pair of pliers or something to get hold of it. Let's see if that would work. I don't know if I could even do it with that, but I can't grip it with my hands, my fingers. Oh, it's going to split. They make it look so easy. But this is not coming off that easy. And it's tearing into sections. Reminds me of trying to skin a catfish. Can't even grip it with my fingers. That little bit of membrane gets tough if you cook it. And it's not fun to eat, so we don't want it left on there. If we can help it. This one, it's just not the easiest thing in the world to get off of here. But it is coming off. If y'all know of an easier way to do this, you let me know. Put it in the comments. Because that little bit of membrane, I think, gets real tough when it's cooked. And you don't want to have to eat it. Or try to chew it. I don't know if that's folded over or probably not. They look real good. I guess that's just the way it's grown. It looked like it was kind of folded over. And that membrane might have been under it, but it may not be. It may be just the way the ribs have grown there. Gotta get some of my coffee. We'll put that over there because I'm going to take it all out. I'm not going to put my barbecue seasoning and stuff on it until I put it on the grill and sear it. We'll take the camera outside, check on our grill. Sorry about that, I'm showing you the ceiling. Got up to about 200 already. I didn't bring my cloth out. Whew. Well, that's got to get a little bit hotter. I got to sear it, and then I'll wrap it in foil. So I'm going to let it sit there a few minutes because it's not heated up yet. Whew. Drink my coffee. My first cup this morning. Trying to get all the burners on to where it would get hotter quicker. Oh, my yard needs to be mowed. I got the guy coming about the trees tomorrow. I've been busy. Staying at 200, but I know the gas, there's not much gas in that tank. Oh, it's hot. Feels good in the shade here, though. And you know, this is what I thought and bought as a mandevilla plant that's growing up this side of the arbor. It's not a mandevilla. It's not even a vine. It looks like an evergreen bush of some type, or just a green shrubbery bush. I was so disappointed. I should have known. But when it was real small, you couldn't really tell the difference whether it was a shrub or a mandevilla. But it had the tag in it for a mandevilla. But I've got some started from seed down in the pot. So when they start growing and want to climb, I'm going to cut that back and let the mandevilla grow on up. Or the clematis is what I've got planted there. I was disappointed in that. I can't believe someone actually maybe switched the tags. And it had the tag for a mandevilla, but it was actually just like a shrubbery bush is all it is. It's never gonna bloom. I'm surprised it got as tall as it did. But yeah, I'm gonna be cutting that back. And I've got Western style barbecue seasoning that I'm going to rub it with. I haven't put it on there yet, but I'm going to. And of course I'll put more on it when I put it in the pan to wrap it, because I'll sear it real good on the outside. I'll put it in my foil pan. I'll put my seasoning on it, wrap it up, and then I'm going to put it back on the grill, but I'm going to slow cook it for a while, wrapped in the foil. I just hope the gas holds out. But it's not as hot as it should be right now. But it's starting to sear the outside, so just give it a few more minutes. Yeah, I was planning on waiting and cooking till the weekend and cooking this, but the date's running out on it, so I can't wait. Don't have any room in the freezer to freeze it, so I gotta cook it. I'll just buy something else for this weekend. Got some kind of bug that's eating my plants up here. Oh, that was a cabbage plant that was living in there. The bugs was biting on the leaves of it. Ooh, that little breeze feels good. I got so hot messing around in the garden. But I checked the date on that to see if I could hold off to this weekend, and I can't. It's got to be cooked today. And like I said, I'll just get something else for the weekend. Yeah, so hopefully when the guy comes tomorrow and looks at those trees, he'll get somebody over here and cut them down and get rid of them, because they're over on my side of the property and I don't want to have to deal with them. I shouldn't have to deal with them. I got enough to deal with in my own crap. So we'll see. He seemed like a pretty nice man when I talked to him on the phone. Yeah, it's starting to get a little warmer. It's like 250 right now. So we'll probably get it seared and get it wrapped and all that before any gas runs out. Oh, it's the first time I sat down since I got up this morning about 8:30. It's probably around 12:30 right now. Bird sounds like he's in this tree right here. He's right in this tree. I noticed when I was watering in my rock garden a little earlier that most of my flower bulbs are not coming back up, and that means probably they dried up and disappeared last year, or either the ground moles ate them, because there's only a few daylilies that have come up. My other bulbs haven't come up, and as much as it's rained, they should have come up. Maybe it'll get seared in a minute. It's up to right at 300 degrees. And I'll put more of this on it when I put it in the pan. Oh, I don't know how hot it's going to get today. Probably close to 90. I didn't even check the forecast to see what it was going to be. I see little birds getting into the clematis over there on the arbor. So cute. They must be getting seeds out off of it. Reminds me, I got to put up some, change out the hummingbird feeders too. All their nectar's about gone. That means they've been coming to the feeders when I haven't seen them. And they do that a lot. A lot of times I don't see them when they come to the feeder. Or I'll catch them just as they're leaving. I think while that's starting to sear, I'll go ahead and do an update on the garden, because it's going to take a few minutes for that to outside, and then I'll turn it again. But you can see my they're hollyhocks, but I'm not going to plant them on this side again because they don't do anything. They don't get enough sun. They're already blooming on the other side of the house where they get evening sun. So they like sunshine. There's a worm eating that too. But see, my purple clematis up there's died. Something chewed it off at the root down there, I think. But the lavender one is still there, so hopefully it'll survive. And look at I think it's a cucumber vine. I wouldn't swear to it. It hasn't got anything on it yet, but I think it is a cucumber vine. Growing up the trellis. You know, it tried to go up the post, but it didn't like it too good. So then I trained it to go up the post, but I don't know what I'm going to do. It's already at the top of it. So we'll see. But yeah, this thing is it's just a green shrubbery bush. That's all that is. So I'm going to get that off of there. I mean, it don't look bad, but that's not what I want up there. But see, I've got red clematis coming up from seed that I put in there. So I'm hoping that will survive and go on and climb up the trellis, and then that'll give me red flowers. Red clematis. My coleus plants are finally trying to do a little bit of something. And my seeds are trying to come up there. I think that was coleus seed. I got a little one there. And one there. And I had to transplant part of my the top to my mother of millions because it was breaking off right there. But I've got other little plants, baby plants coming up in the pot, so that's okay. And I got some coming up there. And there's my sweet potato. Look at the shoots growing out on it. Look at that. I've got 3 on it so far. Looks like another one starting right there. So maybe it'll get roots and I'll be able to plant some sweet potato plants. So we'll see. And there goes it's either a red tomato, slicing tomato, or a hillbilly. Because I planted both and one died, and I don't remember which one that is. But I've got more tomato seed coming up from the slice of tomato I put in there. My pepper. I got to plant a pepper, either a pepper plant or tomato plant in there. My perpetual spinach, I harvested that yesterday because I took a bag full to my son's house. My purple tree collard, or my purple kale, whichever. I got a pepper plant. And I moved my lettuce over here under the shade. It gets a little sun, but it gets probably mostly shade. And it's looking a lot better. It's greening up instead of being so orangey red looking. So I hope it won't have such a bitter taste. And I do need to harvest it. And I got one little Hungarian hot pepper trying to survive right there. I've got I guess that's a Hungarian wax pepper, or yeah, that's a Hungarian hot pepper. That's a Hungarian pepper, the little one. And my seed hasn't come up here yet. It was a hydrangea, but it hasn't come up unless that little sprig right there is one of them. I got walking stick kale right here coming up from seed. I got a Ponderosa pink tomato plant. Thank goodness it survived. I think there's two of them come up together. My rosemary. Oh goodness, my little pepper plant. I don't know why they want to fall over. But I've got a Better Boy tomato. Sweet red pepper right there. And this is a Marconi red pepper, sweet pepper. Or Marconi pepper with a Better Boy tomato plant. And my seed are finally coming up here, and I don't remember what I put in there because I didn't mark it. But I got a Marconi red pepper there. I put purple tree collard walking stick purple kale in that pot, and it has not come up. I've got a pepper, Marconi red pepper right there in the yellow pot. I've got Cherokee purple tomato plants on the other side of it. This is a Marconi pepper here. And then I've got this couple of slices of tomato that I put in there with seed that they're all coming up. And you know, I've got 4, 5, 6 plants right there, so I'm going to have to transplant them when they get a little bigger. And here is the Marconi sweet pepper. I was worried it was not going to survive because some of them did die on me. But that one survived. And then see, I've got peppers not peppers, but tomatoes, I think it is, coming up back there from a slice of tomato. My walking onions. I've got a rutabaga growing here with a voluntary, that's either a cucumber or squash or some kind of melon, I'm not sure, but it's vining out. And then I've got the 2 slicing tomatoes here that I transplanted. And of course, my lettuce, my green lettuce does not do good over here. But I caught a couple of tomatoes, one in that pot. I got one over there in that other black pot. My clematis, which is growing beautiful. It bloomed, and now it's getting ready to bloom again. Here is Roma tomato. And I think those are hillbillies, I'm not sure. They're either hillbillies or they're, let's see. Can't see the, yeah, that's a hillbilly tomato. There's 3 of them there, actually. There's 2 growing up together there and 1 here. And then, of course, I got a rutabaga right there. And this is a red, that's the slicing tomato. That's the slice that I planted that the seeds were in and it come up, and those are too. There's actually 3 in this one. There's a little one in the middle, and then there's one on each side. And then, of course, the rutabaga. No, that's, well, yeah, there is a rutabaga in there, but there's something else in there, too. And I got slicing tomato there. I got one here. Look at there, at my tree collard, how much it's grown since I got it out of the other pot with the cucumbers and I put it over here by itself. It's grown a lot since I put it there. And there is my red slicing tomato. You know, these are the ones I planted just from the slice of tomato that I put in the ground. And here is my mashed potato melon, as I call it. It's a squash. And look at this. I can get over there to it. Let's see, maybe I can get over here better this way. But that was the peelings, the tomato peelings I put in this pot. And I've got about 5 or 6 tomato plants coming up from the seeds that were connected to this peeling of the tomato. So I'll be transplanting them. And this pepper plant, this is a jalapeno. It's blooming, so I'll have peppers on it pretty soon. I had to stake my sunflower up because the wind was blowing so hard it bent it over, but it's still alive. My pepper seed are finally coming up in that pot. I got something trying to come up in here, and I don't remember what I planted in there. But I've got tomato seed coming up. Look at there, plants. I've got a tomato plant, and that's a Better Boy tomato plant. And this is a jalapeno pepper plant planted in the little pot in here. A sunflower. I got a tomato plant here. And look at the peppers coming up. And that was all from the seed that I got out of peppers that I put in that pot. So I'm going to have a bunch of peppers that I got to transplant pretty soon. My cucumbers, I think they're doing pretty good. They're climbing, running all over this vine, and that's kind of the way I wanted it to do because I don't want it on the ground. I want it to keep going around on the vine. And there's several different types of cucumbers here. But I just figured it'd be better to put them all in one area and try to trellis them so they're not on the ground. But they got plenty of blooms, so I should be getting cucumbers before too long. Some of them are already almost to the top. My yellow squash started to grow since we got so much rain. That one's starting to look a lot better. And I got to get another black bucket to go there because it ended up with a hole in the bottom. Walking onions. Here goes my hot pepper. I've got 2 tomato plants in there, and I think that was from the slice of tomato that I planted. I've got tomato plants here. Look here, they're already to the top of the trellises. And I think they're from the slice of tomato, so I'm not sure how tall they're going to get. I hope they don't get too tall, because the ones I had planted here last year got like 12 foot tall, and they ended up getting up to the top of this. They bent over and went all the way down to the ground and started back up again. So I'm hoping they don't get quite that big. And I don't know why this is not draining. It's not good for the water to stay in there like that. And the seeds was for a hot pepper. I don't think it's ever come up. And that's a slicing tomato. You know, I say it's a slicing tomato, but anytime I say that, that means it's a tomato plant that came up from a slice of tomato. So it should be a red slicing tomato that grows there. And there's a hot pepper. And then I've got 2 more of the tomato plants. And there's a bell pepper. That's more tomatoes that came up from the seed from the slice of tomato. This is a jalapeno. And I think that's a hot pepper back there. This is another of the slicing tomatoes. And I had a hot pepper growing there, but something to eat it, but it looked like it's coming back out, trying to. My asparagus. And it's determined to keep growing. But it's going to go to seed, so I've been keeping it broke off. And here is another bell pepper, I think it is. It's one of the peppers. No, that's a jalapeno. I'm sorry. My eggplant. And that's probably too many plants for one pot. But I had to wait till they got bigger before I could even think of transplanting them. And I've got a melon growing here. It's, I got a Better Boy tomato plant, which it looks real healthy. I got an eggplant in that little pot. And I got to get some more twine and kind of stake this up a little bit better. And here is my little melons. And I was told they usually don't get no bigger than that. That's pretty much the size they get full grown. So I'm going to go ahead and pick these 2. It's got 2 on it. I think that's all that's on there. So far, I've pretty much seen about two of these on each one of the plants that I've had planted. And this is a gold medal tomato, and I see I've got a pretty tomato right there. It's not ripe, but it does have a tomato. The other one has blooms, but I don't see a tomato yet. But I put a shade cloth over it, but it was too low down on it. It was not getting enough sun. So it started looking kind of wimpy, so I took the shade cloth off of it. And it's looking better. There's my walking onions. And I'll pretty soon be able to get some onions to plant again. And there's my green onions, the dishpan I planted from seed with green onions. They're starting to grow a little. I got a cucumber vine growing here with a tomato. And that is a hillbilly tomato plant. I don't know what possessed me to put a cucumber vine with a with a tomato. And there's another cucumber vine. I think it'll do all right. It'll grow all the way up to the top of this if it don't turn it over. I'm going to put my squash down here and pick them up on the way back. But I had to tie up my sunflowers because the wind got so strong it blew them over. That's the reason I left the stakes to these pots where I had them last year. Because I knew sooner or later we would get some strong winds and it would blow them over. And if they weren't staked up, they'd be laying down on the ground. So. And there's a tomato. That's a red slicing tomato. And I don't know if that is a zucchini or a yellow squash or what that is. But I've got a hillbilly tomato plant right there. And that's a red slicing tomato right there in the black pot. It's gotten pretty big. And you can see I harvested some of my kale here. And that's a hillbilly tomato plant. There's another tomato plant. And I got a canary yellow melon growing there. And I think that's a kale, rutabaga or something. onions, mint, my roses are looking good, and I do need to get out here and mow. That was one thing on my to-do list today. And see, I got a yellow squash there, a little one. My basil's looking good. I got 2 pots of basil. I got yellow squash coming on this one. My mandevilla is growing right here. I got a red one there. I think it's red. And I hope it grows up the vine or up the trellis, the arbor. And then I got the yellow one planted on this side with the other clematis that I've got. So I think when all of it goes up the arbor, it's going to be pretty. And this is a zucchini, and it's starting to get zucchinis on it back there. I can't tell if I'm showing it to you. Yeah, you can see it right there. I got a Roma tomato plant there. See all my peppers coming up in the pot? Got weeds in here too. But look at all those peppers. And look at all those peppers. And they all came up from the seed that I cut out of the inside of the bell pepper. And there's more coming up there. So y'all don't have to buy bell pepper seed. If you buy bell pepper and you eat bell pepper, just save the seed inside and dry them for a day or two and then plant them. There's my walking onions, my sunflowers, my okra. I think that was some of the smaller okra because it's not getting very big over here. And it's already got okra on it, see? There's 2 okra on that little one. There's one on that one back there. I think there's one on about each one of the okra plants. And here is my volunteer melon that came up from last year in this bucket. So I left it and it's already got a melon on it. My salad mix. Oh man, I kind of left that for the birds to get to the seeds. That was the bok choy that went to seed. I got a pepper plant back there. Rutabagas here. Sunflower. I've got blue salvia here. My nasturtium has not come up in that. I got a couple of tomato plants. Look at that. Come up with the sunflower in this corner. My greens are growing like crazy. My greens in this pot growing like crazy. My yellow turnips. My tomatoes that came up in the corner are still growing. Oh look, I got a little Roma tomato right there. As little as that plant is, it's got a tomato on it, and it's got blooms. The bell pepper, well not bell pepper, I think that's a hot pepper, jalapeno. The squash plant there. And see, here's a mashed potato melon, but it's not got the stripes on it yet. They're white when they first come on, and then as they mature, they'll get the little green stripes down them. Sunflower. And my yellow turnips. My hillbilly tomato plants. My beefsteaks. Look at that. Covered in tomatoes. They're all green, but it's covered in tomatoes. One's a beefsteak and the other one's a hillbilly. Look at that big old tomato. It's got more blooms, but I don't see any more tomatoes. Just that one. So far. And that was the tomato that came up from the seed that I planted from that slice of tomato. We got one here, and look at there. This is one of the grape tomatoes, and see, it's got little grape tomatoes on it. It's got 4 right down here. It's got some right there, some up here. And I think this is the one that's going to get about 12 foot tall, so I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I got more bell pepper coming up here. And they're all from the seed I got out of the inside of a pepper. My walking stick kale. I think all of this was walking stick kale. And I've got a couple of tomatoes on this. Right there. There's some on the other side. This is I can't tell. I can't tell. The name of it is washed off of the steak. So I can't tell what it is. But see, there's some tomatoes there. My turnips, look at those. They're looking good. But they're covering up my carrots. My arugula is growing, but the turnips are trying to take it over. And my carrots down this way didn't do too good. The ones that got in the shade have survived over there. And there's a few here. But they're not doing too good at the end. My purple bell peppers come up. Look at there. I'm going to have to transplant those somewhere. And I do have a few carrots down at this end. And I got that volunteer tomato plant. And I have no idea what kind of tomato that is. But I said I was going to leave it and let it grow. We'll see what it ends up being. My squash. My onions. And they're about onions in leeks. And I need to pull some of them out and let them dry. And go ahead and replant. And these will be pots that I can replant peppers and tomatoes and stuff in. And I think this is a zucchini. I'm not sure. But this is a hot pepper. You can see a little hot pepper on it. My kale. My kale over here. And potatoes. I got to dig these potatoes up, y'all. Because, you know, I've still got 4 totes of potatoes here with these sunflowers growing in them. And that pot of kale. I got this tub of, or bucket of potatoes here. And look at my banana tree, how it's growing since I put the net over it to keep the bugs from eating the leaves. Look at it. There's 2 banana trees in there. And I got it staked down, so I don't want to pull the stakes out. But you can see it through the net, how good it looks now. That's keeping the bugs off of my banana trees. There's 2 banana trees in there. But yeah, I got to get out here sometime before Wednesday and dig these potatoes, because we're going to get more rain. And I want these totes to have time to dry out a little bit to dig them. There's my watermelon, and it's starting to vine out. And I think I might put some of that weed barrier around this and let the vines grow on the weed barrier. And see, these are vining out. But they're getting in this other vine, and I don't like the other vine. That'll ruin my watermelon vine. See that stuff? I mean, it's pretty. It gets flowers on it, but it's a nuisance when it's in your garden. It wraps around all your plants. And this one is not doing too good. I don't know if it's not getting enough sun or if it's not getting enough water. But I came out here and watered it good earlier. And see, these are going to be starting to run too. See, it's got a runner coming out here. My George, that looked like a potato, but it was a rock. Look, I've got sunflowers growing down the property line, if nothing else. And this is a cantaloupe or some kind of melon, I don't know, but it's got flowers coming up in there too. Got the sunflower there. The rose bush didn't make it, but the sunflower did. So that'll be pretty. That rose bush is living. And I got zinnias coming up beside it. So that'll be pretty. I've got my sunflower that's living in this big old pot. And my other flowers that are coming up, zinnias. And I got a little sunflower there with my zinnias. And I got several sunflowers in this one. But look at those trees. They've got to be taken out of there before it falls and breaks my pot. And that tree too. So hopefully when that guy comes tomorrow that owns the lot over there, he'll do something about those trees. And here is the backside of my rose garden, my rock garden. I've got plenty of moonflowers growing back here, but they're little tiny. I got plenty of marigolds, blanket flowers, and look at my hostas. There's a hosta. There's a hosta. Those are Big Daddy hostas. I got moonflowers behind them. So it's going to be interesting to see which plants went out on this side. Whether it's going to be the hosta or the moonflowers. Because I may end up having to move the hostas to another location. Because, years ago I got moonflowers started here. They just didn't grow very well on this side. And there's another hosta. Because the hostas grow good in the shade. And they get shade here on this side. The moonflowers, look, see that's moonflowers all there. I got another mashed potato melon growing there. There's one in there. It hasn't turned green yet. It's still white. I've got one in that center pot. And then I got another one over in the end that's not doing too well. I don't know what that one is. I don't remember. But here's my moonflowers. And they were all open so pretty earlier this morning, but the sun got on them too hot, so now they're all closed up. But look how tall these plants are. I think what I'm going to do is put this tripod up here. See what it's showing you. And I'm going to go over here and stand beside it just to show you how tall they are. See, so it's not just me enlarging the camera or nothing to make them look big. They are big. They are big. And they're covering the whole entire side of this side of the tree because it gets a lot of the sun on this side. Moonflowers love the sun. And this is full of, I got a squash plant, a zucchini down there that's not doing too good. I've got a green kale, sunflowers, blanket flowers. I need to pull that zucchini plant out and transplant it, and it'll do better on its own. So I've still got to do that. And all my bok choy's gone to seed. So I'm going to, get that out of there, put it in compost, and then I'm going to plant something else in those little pots. And my squash here, one of them died. I don't know why. They were growing so good, and one died. I picked the squash off of this one. But it's coming back out in the center, so hopefully it'll be okay. I'm going to put a smaller pot in the top of it, and I think that's going to help it like I did over here. I've got a rosemary plant in that little pot that I started from seed. I figured, well, maybe with compost in the bottom of it, kale leaves and stuff like that, it'll help that squash plant. And there's my little rose bushes that we started last year. Or what was it, the beginning of this year? Real early in the spring is when we planted these these cuttings. And they are all surviving so far. Yeah, I have got to mow. My bearded iris have done for the season. And I don't know how come that fell. I'm going to have to put some more tape on it and get it taped up because it's fell down. It should be up here like that. Should be up there kind of like that, but I'll have to get me a piece of tape and come out here and fix it. My mint, my sunflowers, my tomato plant, my greens. That was a little volunteer tomato plant, so I think that's a sweet golden cherry tomato. Because I think that's what was there last year, or either a grape tomato. And see, the hollyhocks are blooming over on this side. They needed sun. They don't get enough sun on the other side. Some things love the shade. Other things need the sun to do anything. My squash here, or it's a zucchini, I'm not sure. It's a zucchini. I haven't got any zucchinis yet. I need to put some compost tea to them. My aloe vera, my greens. All my blanket flowers that are growing in the rock garden now. About to take over my rose bushes, aren't they? And I got sunflowers. Look at those. They're going to be pretty when they open up and start blooming over here. But I do need to get the yard mowed. Look at that sunflower. I got several of them planted through here. I said, well, I'm going to try sunflowers. Maybe they'll grow. And see, I've got zinnias. Some of them are opened already. And they're all assorted colors. They're those cut and come again zinnia plants. And see why I could not bring myself to cut these down. I need to just rock it off and enlarge the rock garden all out there around the crepe myrtle, I guess. And keep all this on this side of the carport as a rock garden. Because I don't want to cut those down. They're so pretty. I got sunflowers. And there's one of the flower bulbs that come up. See that big bulb or big pod that's fixing to open up? That's a flower. There's little Buddy. You getting hungry, huh? And see, I got a bunch growing here at this crepe myrtle. I got a bunch growing at the mailbox. I didn't check my mail. See what I got. Oh man, I got a mailbox full. I should probably leave it and come back later. I do that, I'll forget. But anyway, and look at those mums. Aren't those mums pretty in there? And those sunflowers are going to get a lot taller, so they'll get out of the way of the mum and put sunflowers up top, and the mum will be okay. And my blue bonnets, some are still blooming. And I'm dropping mail, y'all. And I'm turning the camera. Make y'all dizzy. The rose bush in that didn't make it, but everything else did. Got a nice rose bush there. And it's blooming. Got flowers. And my stuff in the wishing well. My cilantro, even here in the shade, it's getting too hot on it. It's already went to seed. And I've never even harvested any of it. That's the only reason I don't usually grow cilantro. But isn't that rock garden pretty? The sunflowers. I'm probably going to have to put a stake up here on these too because they're getting too top heavy. They're falling over. Let me throw the mail inside the door. And we'll go around to the other side of the yard because I got to check on my ribs. We got to go check on our ribs, little buddy. Yeah, we do. We got to go check on the ribs. But see all my tomato plants that I planted from seed. My forget-me-nots, broken 4 o'clocks is what it is, not forget-me-nots. Broken 4 o'clocks that are coming up. I got Shasta daisies right there. I got a couple come up anyway. Cherokee pink tomatoes right there. My rose bush, that was just a cutting. And it ended up with marigolds all around it. And I've got ponderosa pink tomato plants there. 5 of them have survived. So I said, well, 5 will be enough if they do survive and I can get them transplanted. I got mixed geranium up here. Different colors, and they are coming up. I've got purple basil planted here, but I don't see any of it coming up yet. The bottom one is lettuce, green lettuce. And it's coming up there, so. And like I said, I don't know how long it takes that purple basil to come up. But that sunflower's looking good. It found a home right there. But see, I can't remember the name of that. It's a flower bulb that comes up every year. And it's getting ready to open. It has a beautiful flower on it. And I had my rock garden on the other side over here full of those. And I haven't seen any of them come up this year. Everything else is looking pretty good. I got sunflowers growing, daylilies, roses, blanket flowers, that Mexican plant, marigolds, zinnias. See, I got zinnias coming up out here from seed. I've got daylilies, but I don't see any of those other ones. And I had tons of those bulbs out here. And they either dried up last summer because of the drought or something ate the bulb. But see, I got these orange looking daylilies. I got yellow ones. It's not going to be as pretty this year as it was a couple of years ago. Because like I said, something has eaten my flower bulbs. They made lunch out of the flower bulbs that were in here, especially all that were in the middle. Except the daylilies. Maybe they don't like daylilies. But I don't see any of the other ones coming up except gladiolas. And they're at the back. But it's still going to look good. I got to come out here and get the weeds out of it one day. But it's still got flowers. It's not going to be like it was a couple of years ago, but it's still got flowers. And I got daylilies blooming here. My daffodils never did bloom. I'm going to have to dig them up when they come up next year and transplant them. They don't get enough sun here. It's too much shade. Now, one of those the hostas would do good here. But the daffodils do not do good here. See, I got these weeds coming up in here. And I put all kind of flower seed in here. I don't need these weeds growing. But I do have marigolds and a few other things. So it's not a total loss. Like those are weeds. See if I can get up here and pull it out while I'm here. Yeah, that's just a weed. And the one further back there is a weed, but I can't reach it. Not with the camera, so I'll let it go for now. We got to go check our ribs. We're going to be burning our ribs up. Woo, it got over 400 degrees out here in this cooker. Putting a good sear on it now. It's about 450 degrees in there. I put some of those candle, no, what do you call them? Caladium. I put 4 or 5 little bulbs in there, but they've not come up yet. But you know what? I did put coleus seed, and I think the coleus seed is coming up now since I planted the little bulbs in there. And I think I already showed you this. So it's not all a loss. And then I need to get out there and get mine cut. Gotta get out here and get mine cut. Let it sear just a little bit on that side, and then we'll get it out and put it in this pan that I got aluminum foil in. And then we'll wrap it up, and then I got to put it back in the grill, turn the grill down, and let it cook for a couple of hours, really low, slow cook. Be late with my video today, but I couldn't help it. I didn't get a video done yesterday to post this morning, so I had to wait and do this one today and go ahead and get it posted today. But that'll be some good ribs to eat for the rest of the week. It's on 400 degrees. I ought to wrap a couple of white potato or some potatoes up and put them in there and bake me some potatoes with my ribs. It might be an idea. Cook everything on the grill today. Don't have to heat the house up. Let it cook just a little bit more, and then I'm going to wrap it up. Because putting my potatoes wrapped in foil in this grill will be just like putting them in the oven. It holds the heat inside, and I'm going to slow cook these ribs for a while, a couple hours anyway. So by then the potatoes will be done too. So. Well, I'm going to go ahead and put it in my pan. Go ahead and close this. While I sprinkle some more barbecue sauce on this. And it's garlic and barbecue sauce and all kind of seasoning for barbecuing and grilling. You know, I did put a little bit on it when I was charring it, but that's enough, I think. Now I'm just going to put it right back in here. Put it about middle way to grill. Turn it down about halfway. Because I don't need it to get 500 degrees in there to cook it. So, I'm going to go ahead and cook this for a couple of hours and we'll bring you back. I think I'm going to go in the house and get me a couple of potatoes. And I'm going to stick my potatoes in there too. Well, just like I said, I no sooner got my my ribs to cooking, got them wrapped in foil, and my gas run out. So while my camera was off, I ran to the store, changed my bottle of gas, got me a new bottle, got home, hooked it up. Would you believe I could not get gas to come out of that bottle? I could not light my stove, my grill. I disconnected it, reconnected it. I disconnected it and reconnected it 4 or 5 times, thinking I had it on there wrong. But it would not work. So evidently the valve on the bottle was messed up and you couldn't open it so the gas would come out. It was full of gas. but you couldn't get the gas to come out. So I had to load it back up in the car, take it back out to the store, tell them what happened, and they switched it out, gave me another bottle. I brought it home, and luckily when I hooked this one up, it lit the grill. So this one was fine. So it's been cooking in there for a while. I want to check on it because I don't want it to burn. Yeah, this wasn't my day for grilling, I tell you. I mean, I expected it to run out, but that's the first time I've ever had to take my, and I think they're done, y'all. I think I'm going to turn my grill off. Whew, it's hot. Turn the grill off, turn the bottle of gas off. Let it just sit there while it's still hot. It's still 500 degrees in there. I'm going to have to wash my gloves. I've got charcoal on them. But I need to turn my bottle off. I ran into a young man one time. He said, you know what? It cost me to grill. I said, what are you talking about? He said, well, I bought a brand new bottle of gas, grilled out some hamburgers. They were fine. Turned the grill off. But he said, I didn't think to turn the bottle of gas off. And he said, like over a couple of days until he got ready to use it again, his gas leaked out. He said, I bet you one thing, he said, I'll remember to turn the bottle of gas off every time I turn my grill off. So it's off in two places. It's off at the little propane bottle, and it's off at the grill. So I don't lose my propane. Because it's like $22, $23 for even an exchange bottle to get a little, bottle of propane like I got. If you don't have a bottle to exchange, they want to charge you like $59 because they charge you for the bottle and they charge you for the gas. But luckily I do have gas bottles, so. But we're going to leave that in there just a few minutes and let it settle down. I keep splitting my finger. Or not my finger, it's my fingernail. I keep filing it, and then I split it again, and I file it and file it. But look here what I decided to do. I was waiting on my grill. I went ahead and cut that bush down. And like I said, it's not a mandevilla. They had the name mandevilla on it. And it was such a little plant when I bought it. It looked like it could have been one. So I bought it thinking it was a mandevilla. That's why I planted it there. But it's just a shrubbery bush. So it's shading the little baby sprouts that have come up. And those are red clematis that have come up. So I'm going to leave that bush there for right now. I'm going to let my clematis climb over it and go up. I'll just keep it trimmed back. But it's helping shade down there a little bit right now. And that'll help my little baby plants that are coming up. So yeah, I'm very disappointed in that. For 2 years I waited for that thing to bloom just to realize it's not a clematis. Or it's not a mandevilla. It's a just a green shrubbery bush. So I was disappointed in that. And I've tried to get shrubbery bushes like that to live around here, and I couldn't get them to live. But I guess maybe I watered it more often since it was in that little pot, or big pot, not a little pot. It's in that half wine barrel. So it survived. So I'm just going to leave it there. Because when you plant clematis, it helps to plant other flowers and things at the base of them to keep the base shaded, to keep their roots cool. The tops love the sun, but the base of the plant and the roots love cool. So that's why you plant flowers and things at the base of them. And I've still got to plant some on this side. I haven't got anything over here. But I think I'm going to go ahead and take the camera inside, because I can't carry the camera and my ribs at the same time. So, and I keep opening that door and it lets flies in. Oh, it's something terrible this time of year with flies. But anyway, let me get the camera set up and I'll run out there and get my ribs and bring them in, because I know they're done. See, this is another good thing, good use of old cookie sheets. Not only you can still bake in them, but they're good for bringing stuff in off the grill that's wrapped in foil. So you can bring it in easier. Look at that. We are just going to let that set there a few minutes. I want to show you something. I went ahead, like I said, and I had 2 sweet potatoes and I had 2 white potatoes. So I went ahead and washed all 4 potatoes, and I cut a slit in the top, and then I wrapped each one individually in foil, and I put them on that top shelf in my grill. And I literally baked my sweet potatoes and my white potatoes in the grill while my my ribs were cooking. I boiled me some eggs because I did fix a salad to go with this, and I wanted a boiled egg in it. So let's see. Let me get and I think I'm going to go with some blue cheese dressing this time, but I fixed this salad, and it is with my romaine lettuce from the garden. I don't know if you can see any of it, but I moved it over in a shadier spot in the yard, so it's a little bit greener now. It's not quite as reddish, so hopefully it's not going to be as bitter as it was before. But I mean, there was nothing wrong with it. It was just a little bitter. But I'll be doing that while my brisket sits there for a few minutes, because you don't want to cut into it immediately after you take it off the heat. You want it to rest for a minute. And I've got a piece of pepper on there. I cut me some little peppers, and I'm just going to slice my boiled egg kind of thin. And y'all, this is not a poor man's dinner. I mean, I know ribs are not that expensive. It's not like buying a steak, and to me they're just as good. But my anonymous giver sent me a grocery order, and these ribs were there. And I've been meaning to cook them, and I kept watching the date on them. I got flies in here. And like I said, I did not want the time to run out on those. But I think I'm going to take a sweet potato, because the last potatoes Well, that's not a sweet potato. Then wrap that sucker back up. I thought that was a sweet potato. Maybe this one is. I know I got 2 sweet potatoes and 2. That's a sweet potato. And I love taking cinnamon and some butter and put on these and just eat them like you would a baked, you know, any other baked potato, but you kind of spice them up with some sugar. Well, not sugar, but some cinnamon and butter. Because they're actually sweet enough already. But, I mean, you can put sugar on them. Chop that up a little bit. It kind of got burnt, or started to burn on one side of it, because I wasn't watching it. Those peelings will go in another pot. And you know what? I think I got cinnamon sugar. That'll work even better. Oh well. Get that on there good. Put just a little bit of cinnamon. Don't have to put much. And let's see. Oops. Now, y'all don't have to do this. And I'd rather have brown sugar, and I didn't even grab the brown sugar, but I just barely sprinkled a little bit of white sugar on there. Not much at all. So I got my salad, I got my potato, and now I'm fixing to cut some of the rib. Looks good, y'all. It really does. Don't that look good right there? It only cooked for maybe 3 hours on the grill. I turned the grill down a little bit. It stayed at about 400. And you know, that's about what you cook potatoes at anyway. I've had so much going on, and then I had to run back and forth so much because of the... Maybe I better turn it this way. I just didn't want to get in front of the camera. Oh, I'm not getting in between the bone, I guess. It's getting a little difficult to cut. And that knife is not even sharp. Try this one. I'm gonna have to sharpen my knives, y'all. And I probably would have done a better job if I had not had to run back and forth so much getting my bottle of gas. That wore me out, just running back and forth doing that. Okay, where is the rib? It's kind of sticking to the foil, but that's okay. And like I said, I was going to cook this coming weekend. I had to taste that piece. And I put barbecue seasoning on it, but there's not a lot. Let's see where my seasoning is. Oh, my barbecue sauce. I didn't even think about getting it out earlier. Oh. I go looking for something and everything drops out at me. Everything's falling out, y'all. Nice problem to have, isn't it? Well, I know I've got a little bit in this bottle. Yeah, that'll probably be enough. I can just use this up. It's a sweet and spicy barbecue sauce. It's about empty, but that's enough in there to use, and I'll find the other one later on. Now you can put this on toward the end of your cooking on the grill and rub it in, or you can just do like I did, wait till you bring it in from the grill and put it on there when you go to eat it. And I've got blue cheese. Shake that up a little bit for my salad. Blue cheese, it's just Kraft blue cheese dressing. See? Just chunky blue cheese. So there you go, y'all. I got my salad, I got my potato, and I got my ribs. I gotta taste a little bit of that. Oh my God. Y'all, that is a meal there. I wish I could have just held off and cooked it for the weekend, but... And see, that got a little brown, a little charred, but that's the way you want ribs and brisket to be. That little bit of char on the outside and with a real juicy inside is what makes it good. Y'all take a bite. Doesn't that look good? Oh my gosh. And I think they're cool enough I can just pick them up and bite them. A little bit of the sweet potato. And y'all have some sweet potato. Put you some butter on them while they're hot. Sprinkle you some brown sugar and cinnamon on it. And oh my God, they're so good. Mmm. This is some good eating, y'all. This is my first meal for today. I've been so busy all day. I did stop about noon and I drank a cup of coffee. And that's all I've had all day. But I said I had to get the video done. And I'm still chewing, y'all. Have to forgive me. I had such a big mouthful. That is so good. That sweet potato hits the spot. Now I got the hiccups. That is so good. Take a close-up of that. Don't that look good? Pork ribs, y'all. And can't forget about my salad. I mean, I went ahead and made the salad. I just used my romaine lettuce. I used the little peppers, the little sweet peppers, some celery, cheese, my egg. That's pretty much it. But it's good, y'all. Take a bite of salad. That is so good. Oh my God. So try you a brisket. Sear it on, I mean not a brisket even. A brisket or some ribs. Sear it good on the outside real fast. Wrap it up. Put your seasoning on it. Wrap it up in foil. Turn your burners down. And low cook it for a couple of hours. Just slow cook it so it gets so tender. And mine is so tender it's just coming apart. I mean, really, you can just bite it. Don't even need a knife. But look at that. Don't that look good? Oh, y'all eat some with me. I could say that was my birthday dinner. I think my eyes were bigger than my belly. I don't know if I can eat all this. I'm definitely not going to be able to eat any more. So. I don't know how much that package of ribs were. Let me see if I can find the label on it. Y'all, $6.90 at H-E-B for a whole slab of ribs, not cooked. So if you got a large family, you could get you 2 or 3 slabs of those and cook them this weekend for your family. Have you a nice cookout. Have some good food. Get you some potatoes, make you some salad, or make you some potato salad. That goes good with this. But, you know, you can cook your potatoes on your grill just like I did. Make your potato salad beforehand, take it with you. Or if you're going to have it at home, you can make your potato salad the day before you're going to have your cookout. Cook all your meat and your potatoes and make your salad the next day. So with that, I'm going to wish y'all the best. I've got to sit down here and eat me some dinner. Because when I get through eating my dinner, when the shade hits that section of the yard out here to my left, I got to get out there and start mowing. Because my yard is terrible. And it's going to take me probably several days to mow it. But I want to get that front section mowed today if I can. But I want it to cool off a little bit first. So, again, get you some ribs. $6.90 for that great big old slab of ribs. Pork ribs at H-E-B. And there's a ton of meat on there. Oh my God, look at all the meat on this. Look at all the meat on this pork rib. There's a ton of meat on there. Or get you some burgers and grill you some burgers out. But this is an idea, you know, for this coming weekend, this holiday weekend, that you can grill out some pork ribs. Make you a good meal. And I got 3 ribs there. I don't know if I can eat 3. I might get through 2 of them and have to wait a while on the other one. But I'm hungry. Because like I said, I haven't eaten anything all day. I've been too busy to stop to eat. So with that, I'm going to wish you a good day. Have a blessed day, blessed night. Have a good day tomorrow. I'll see you on my next video. Bye, y'all. Love you.